gentlemen, I am Rick Godley. Once again, we find ourselves on the shores of Lake D'Arbonne for the 15th annual Brayden Lynn Bass Memorial Classic to benefit Catch a Dream Foundation. And what you can do right now is text the word B-R-A-Y-D-E-N, Brayden to 71777, And the man that taught me that is this gentleman right here, Marty Brunson from the Catch a Dream Foundation out of Starkville, Mississippi. And welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Thank you, Rick. It's good to be here.
Well, let me ask you, because I've talked with Beverly in the past. She was searching for a cause to honor her son, Brayden Lynn, and she came across the Catch a Dream Foundation. Yeah. Do you know the rest of that equation of how that call was made and when that was made for you to begin the relationship?
I know just a little bit.
All right.
I believe about a year after she lost Brayden, she was looking for a charitable cause to conduct a little tournament in his memory, and somehow learned about Catch a Dream. I don't remember how, but I know she'll remember. But I do recall that first call. And as I shared with a lot of folks since then, it was a fairly emotional call.
I bet.
But it's very clear there's a mom who has a passion and wants to make a difference. And we talked just a little bit, and her question of us was, would you allow us to do a tournament to benefit Catch a Dream? Well, my answer is always, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And it began in 2013, and we're now in our 14th season, and it gets bigger and better every year.
So we're live streaming. It's going to be the weigh-in at 3 o'clock, so folks can come out because there's a silent auction going on. There's going to be a live auction. Were you here last year for the live auction?
I missed it last year.
Oh,
I
you
had
did?
knee surgery in March and was recuperating, but we had one of our staff members here.
They had a highly paid, trained professional auctioneer come up here. I don't know if you've heard about that.
I didn't catch that part of the story.
He may be back
Is
again
he making
this
a return
year.
engagement?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
There's time, but live auction, all to benefit the Catch a Dream Foundation.
Great.
For the Brayden Lynn Bass Memorial Classic. Take us back to the origin of the Catch a Dream Foundation. How, why, and when, where, and all that.
In mid-1999, our very dear friends at the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the world's largest and oldest wish granting foundation for children, made a fateful decision. A decision based on a lot of reconnaissance, based on some politics, but also good business, in that they were receiving a lot of pressure from the antis, shall we say, for allowing children to go out and experience what we call consumptive use outdoor experiences. That is, setting the hook on fish or pulling the trigger on animals. So they made a decision in July of '99 to no longer allow that type of experience to those children who clearly desired that experience. That rattled some cages around the country. A lot of folks decided, we don't want to support Make-A-Wish because of that decision. But others, including us in Mississippi, decided that rather than bash Make-A-Wish, rather than denigrate our friends at Make-A-Wish, why don't we just create an organization to stand in the gap? And there was a gentleman in Brookhaven, Mississippi, who was literally dying of cancer, a very highly noted outdoor writer named Bruce Brady, who first espoused the idea that if I could, I would create a program to stand in the gap.
Right.
And Bruce wasn't physically and medically able, but he had some friends. And those friends stepped in Bruce's latter days. And as the vision began to take just a little semblance of reality, we lost Bruce early in the year 2000. But soon thereafter, we put together a program literally in his memory that we called Catch a Dream. And the gate was wide open. We did our first trip in January 2001. And we've now served almost 1,000 children and families from 47 different states and 2 provinces in Canada. And Catch a Dream has become literally a national phenomenon. We are blessed to be able to do that for children and families across the country and into Canada. We have outfitters from literally the Florida Keys to the North Pole who said, you have a child who needs what we have, bring them on. We don't have to pay for those experiences, but we cover all the expenses for a child and the family. We make sure they have a once-in-a-lifetime experience without a burden of financial or other concerns. We do all the logistics.
And that's what the beneficiary of all the monies raised here for in honor and memory of Brayden Lynn is going to go to Catch a Dream to fulfill the wishes and dreams of future participants. And if they just text the word Brayden to 71777, that will also enable them to find out everything they need to know about what you just talked about.
Absolutely.
Right?
We've got a page specifically for Brayden Lynn Bass Classic. You can click there and connect to our webpage. Or if you'd like to support Brayden Lynn and thus support Catch a Dream and the children we serve, there's the donate button right there on that page. Or click over to our page. Many ways to become involved. I would say register for the bass tournament, but it's a little bit late.
A little bit late, yeah, but you can still throw money at the cause.
You can register until Christmas.
Yeah,
you just can't weigh fish after 3 o'clock.
No, you can't.
Absolutely.
Most unique dream or wish that was requested that comes to your mind, you know, and it's one of those that goes like, never heard of that, but let's see if we can make that happen. What would that be?
You know, it's interesting. I had the question posed just last night and I had to think just a moment, but probably most folks would consider the most interesting and unique was just a year ago. We had a young man from northeastern part of the United States requesting a hunt for iguana. So we literally happened to have in our back pocket an iguana outfitter in Central Florida. And he's a pretty famous guy, has his own YouTube channel. It's called the Python Cowboy, a good friend of ours who had already called us and said, if you ever need me, I'm here. So we literally did an iguana hunt in Central Florida, and this young man harvested numerous pesty iguanas, one including about 55 inches, which is a near record trophy iguana, along with other things that we make come true. So I'd say that's probably the one that most folks would think is just a little off the beaten path.
That's definitely unique. And there are also causes, because I've been involved in such an organization here in Northeast Louisiana. Sometimes the requests come in and immediately it breaks your heart or makes you start crying because it's not for them.
Right.
It's for their sister or for their parents. Or, I mean, you have any of those stories?
We do. And unfortunately, with our policy and our priorities, we only grant the request to the ailing child. But what we can often do is find out what an ailing sibling might desire, and we can incorporate then the well siblings into that ailing sibling's request, and thus kill one bird with the same two rocks, as our Aggie friends like to say, or as those of us who are highly educated at LSU, Mississippi State, Louisiana Tech.
Oh, you want to get us in trouble early here, huh?
Kill two birds with one stone. So we can be creative, but we have to be sure we stay on our mission and our purpose. But serving a child who's sick with a very bleak prognosis, we learned a long time ago that child's not the only one in the family who needs help and needs to be served. So it's a family affair. All
right. Well, Marty Brunson, Catch a Dream, text BRAYDEN 71777 71777. I'm Rick Godley, and Greg Terzia is going to be doing the weigh-in. We'll get Beverly Nunn up here. Look at those people over there. They're sitting with phones stuck in their ears.
There you go, tuned in.
But I also see a boat coming in. We may be getting some weigh-ins early, so the live stream's scheduled to start at 3, may start earlier. Stick and stay with us, and by the way, come out and play with us. We're at Rhett's Tails and Shells. We're going to be here till the fun runs out, but we have a silent auction. We have a live auction happening. And once again, opportunity to give, text the word BRAYDEN, Brayden, to 71777. Anything else I need to add?
Just a thank you to all of our friends out there. Thank you to these fishermen who fished the tournament. And let me throw in here just a little bit of an advertisement for this classic. After today's over, our projection is that this tournament in 14 years will have generated over $200,000 for Catch a Dream.
Catch a Dream.
Now, you divide that by 6,000, and that's how many child trips this tournament has supported over the past 14 years.
That's pretty cool. That's important to remember, because a lot of times we have a tendency to think, what good will my little do? Well, a whole lot of littles adds up to a whole lot.
A lot of littles adds up to a whole lot. So thank you.
Oh,
Rick,
you're
appreciate
welcome.
what you
You're
do
most
for us,
welcome.
and we are grateful.
Awesome. We're going to kill this stream. We'll come back and do some live fish weigh-ins with Greg Terzia here at Rhett's Tails and Shells.